Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to create a couple different types of circles, some arcs, some polygons, and show you how to do some arrays. So these are all different features that allow us to do different things. So if you guys haven't figured out, there are multiple ways to do things. There's circle up here that gives you with a drop down of about, 6 different types of circles on how to make them. And depending on the information and the geometry in which you have, it may give you, it may be a good idea to use certain types of geometry. Use a different type of circle. If you didn't know, you can also, you can't right click on it, but you can also type C space or enter on your keyboard, and it activates the last type of circle that you use. So I'm just going to come in here. So I'm going to start with the circle radius. Makes sense. It's a circle based on the radius. If you follow down here, okay, it will prompt you and tell you what you need to do. So specify the center point of the circle. It's also doing it right below my crosshairs. So it can say specify center of the circle. You can type in an absolute value within our drawing. So right now my absolute value that I'm drawing at is at 8.01346 and 20.44. You can type in an absolute value to specify where you want it. So if I go 0, 0, I'm drawing it in the exact center, okay? Exact center of everything, okay? But instead of me doing that, I'm not worried about that right now. I'm just going to specify, and then with this one, I just type in the diameter or the radius that I want, 3 enter. Okay. Diameter one works the same way, but then instead this time I'm going to type in my my diameter in which I want, which is 1.5. So this is a radius circle, diameter circle, and dependent on the information that you have and what you know, you're going to want to flip-flop between the two. Okay, if I come back in, I hit spacebar again, I reactivate the command. Okay, it's back to a diameter circle, okay, or it's going to go back to a radius circle. Okay, if I want to go from radius diameter, I can right-click and I can go diameter. And so then it just switches from one to the other. Okay. I'm going to tell you, if you have a print and it gives you math, gives you the information, use the information. Use the circle it tells you to. Don't let the math variables change things. Next, you have a 2 point. So let's say I want to make a circle from here to there. Those are my 2 points. Okay. Next, we have a 3 point where I can come in and I can click here, here, and here. And it's going to make a circle based on those 3 points. Okay? You can do the same thing. I don't think you actually have to snap to anything, and it will make it. Yeah. So 2 point, 3 point. When you have information, it's good, but those are some different ways. Okay? Down here, I'm going to show you what these become really powerful if you are drawing within within a when you already have more geometry. So we're going to do the tan radius, which is short for tangent radius. Okay, a tangent point on a circle is any point that touches the circle. So I don't know what I want I don't know. So let's say I'm drawing and I know my radius, but I don't know exactly where it hits on one of these. So it brings up the tangent. And if you can notice, my green dot or my cursor has a green circle with a line across it, which is the AutoCAD symbol for tangent. So I'm going to click tangent, tangent, and now it wants me to specify a radius. Okay, and I'm just going to go 4. So it automatically figures out where it would touch each one of those circles tangentially at 1 point and 1 point alone, and create a circle with a radius of 4. Okay, and it creates that circle for me. The same thing will occur if I do a tan one. wants me to specify what it's being tangent to. I want this entity, and this entity, and it automatically figures out where to create that circle. So there's your tan, tan, tan. Okay. Next we'll come up here. We have arcs. I'm going to tell you, I'm not really good with arcs. A lot of cases, if I have to use arcs, I actually draw circles and then remove material. But it gives you some different information. Maybe we want to use an arc using 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Okay? That's how 3-point arc works. Well, maybe we have a start, center, end. I'm going to start here. And remember, it prompts you down here. So the next thing is it wants me to specify where the center of the arc will be, okay, and where the end point will be. Okay? And it creates that arc. Okay, next you have start, center, angle. Boom, start. Okay, specify center point. I'm going to say the center point's down there, and it creates that angle, how many angles I want. Play with arcs, okay? Arcs do different things, okay? That's what happens with those. Next, we have the polygon. And the polygon, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to remove some of these real quick so I can show you 2 different polygons. So the polygon is actually found underneath underneath all of this, underneath the rectangle, okay? And the polygon, okay, allows us to create equilateral closed polygons, okay, either within a circle or about a circle. So inscribed means, an inscribed polygon means it's inside a circle, where a circumscribed polygon is outside of a circle. So I'm going to select, so I select my polygon, and the first thing it prompts me to do is the number of sides, okay? So for example, I just pick a side, a polygon. I don't know why I'm going to create a 4-sided polygon. I'm going to create a 3, okay? I got a 3-sided polygon, specify center point, okay? I'm going to put it in the center of this circle, okay? Inscribed or circumscribed. I want it to be inscribed. We're going to make it inside. Okay, and then I can come and I can move it to one of these different quadrants, okay? One of these different points along it. Right now I have my quadrant snaps on, so it's automatically going to one of the 4 quadrants. And guys, if you didn't know, circles have 4 quadrants, okay? The 4 extremities on the right, top, left, and bottom, okay? Or 0, 360, 90, 180, 270 degrees, okay? Those are all of the different types. So I can then just go, and it creates me a perfect circle, perfect polygon based on that activity, okay? I can go back to it, okay? Specify the number of sides. I'm going to go 15 sides, okay? I'm going to create a 15-sided polygon, specify, I want it made center point here, okay? And I'm going to circumscribe it, okay? It's going to be on the outside of the circle, okay? And I'm going to use the previously drawn circle before to help me create it. So then it perfectly makes me that 15-sided polygon, okay? And I can remove that circle, 15-sided polygon to create that object. So hopefully all of those make sense, okay? And this isn't, it's not anything new, or excuse me, it's not anything that radical, but it allows us to do things quicker and better. So I'm going to create another triangle real quick on, okay, I want a 3, I want there, sure, and I'm going to come in here and make a T, I'm going to make a small, okay, so now I got a small triangle on the outside of my circle, okay, and I'm going to show you what I'm about ready to show you next. We need that. So what's going on is I'm going to show you how to make a couple different things called arrays, okay? They're either called arrays or patterns, okay? So the first type, so it's buttons right here, and there are 3 different types. So there's rectangular array, path array, and polar array. I'm going to start with rectangular. So I click on my rectangular array, and it wants to know what objects I'm trying to array. I'm trying to create a pattern of. I'm going to go ahead and select this polygon. Okay, it found one object. You can do multiple objects, but just for my demonstration purposes, I'm going to do one. So I found that object, space to move through the command. It creates this. It wants to know how many different columns, how many different things within my X. Default's 4. Cool. Next, it wants to know total distance between each one. I'm going to go, just to make things simple, I'm going to go 11. So it now created 4 of these polygons 11 apart. Next it goes rows. 1, 2, okay? We're going to go 3, okay? And I'm going to go 12. So we're going to spread them out a little bit, okay? And so it then does the math, okay? And it creates them. Total distance among all of them is going to be 24. This is if we're getting a little bit more 3D. So we're going to stay with these 3Ds. So it's now made me this polygon 12 more times, okay? So it's made me 3 to the right, or 4 to the right, and 4 down. So it's created a pattern. They are they are at the total distance, okay, among all of them is the same. Check, okay? That is rectangular array. You have the same, okay? You can go down and up on it, okay? Going back to this triangle I made, okay, here's the next one. It is polar array, okay? Polar array means you make it in a circular pattern, okay? What object do I want to pattern? I want to pattern this guy, okay? It wants to know what is my center point to make this pattern, because everything's going to be based on a circle. Well, I drew it on a circle, so I want my center point to be right there in the middle of the circle. Okay, next it wants to know how many items do you want. I'm going to go 8. Okay, notice it made 8 and it's equal distance apart. Okay, equal distance apart. How many total angles? We can begin to play with this, okay, and we can say maybe I want 8, okay, but I only want it to be 180 degrees apart. Okay, so it will then create them, okay, distance, and it automatically figures out what the angle needs to be between each. So if I want to make 8 of them, okay, and I only want them to go half a circle, 180 degrees, okay, I just type that in, it'll calculate it. When I'm done, we probably can rotate them. Rotate them, changes them a little bit more. I just leave them association. That changes directions, okay? That's what's going on. Create. It created me 8 more of them along the way, so I don't have to copy and paste them. Makes things faster. Okay? One last one that can be kind of cool. So I've come in here and I've made what's called a spline line. I don't teach you a whole lot of spline line because it's kind of tricky. Okay, but I created a non-linear path. Okay, so yes, it is a line, but it's not. It's going in multiple directions at once. It's not a function. Would be a better way to put it. A non-functional line. I got a circle, okay? If I come in here and I go to this drop down and I go path array, okay, it will then prompt me, select objects. Okay, I want him, space. It now wants me to select the path, okay? There's the path I want, okay? Number of items, I can either do number of items or I can do space between. We can begin to play with some of these. I haven't played with these a whole lot, so I'm not exactly sure how these all change, but they will do at some point if we need to. But notice how it follows along this guy here, and what it is it's going 1.8, 1.7. It's going this distance along our line, and it's creating those circles, and that's how you make a path array. All right, thanks guys.